chair and board, chairs and board. That would probably just be sanest alphabetically in each set. I'm not totally coherent yet. I need about 2 more cups of coffee before I make sense. How long we go?
Another issue we need to think about is we have the voting sheet, and I guess that not all the members that are currently on the voting sheet are here. So maybe we need a new voting sheet with a new set of people.
I think it's better if we continue on the same voting sheet, but somehow mark who are here now.
It's not a problem. If someone is not here, they basically don't vote. So it's basically it's the same as abstain.
Yeah,
so,
but we might have new people also.
That is true. Yeah, we need to add those towards the end of the sheet.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's working now. It's supposed to show something, I suppose.
And also we are out of votes in the voting sheet. Someone need to add like 11, 12, 13, and any logic on them.
Okay, let me go back to the assembly doc, and then we go to the voting sheet, which is this one.
Can I just drag? Yep.
So we need a couple of more here, like these. And then
is this what you want, Ram?
let's go here. And
You're muted, Ram. I don't think Ram can hear us either.
I just asked Ram to unmute.
Oh, sorry. Under 11, 12, 13, etc., there should be the formulas that sum up the yes, no, abstain. And also, I don't see the drop-down boxes. There should be drop-down boxes for all the votes.
Those. So let's copy those over here.
What just happened? Did we just lose data?
No, Mark is just scrolling around.
It scared me. I'm like, no, our records.
Nothing happens.
The sacred texts.
I'm just trying to get the drop downs in place like this.
Yeah.
And we fix this one. So, I mean, we're not going to vote that much anyway. So
no, it'll probably be like 2 or maybe 3 votes at most.
Yeah. I guess we have to vote in anyone who's new on the list. So
yes, since we did that last time.
If anyone is new in this meeting who wasn't there in the previous one on September 20th, I think it was, then please let us know. Then we have to vote you in here and also add your name and your email address here and the signature.
It's Bahij here. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't here last time.
Okay, so you need to add yourself over here, and then we need to vote you in, I think.
Sure. I'll just do it now. 1 second.
Okay, perfect. And then let's move down here. We already have a vote, so we can just copy that one. Vote on extending this one.
Excuse me, Miguel speaking. Is there another link or something? Because I see the voting sheet as a view only on my end. Maybe using another link.
Maybe we switched it to.
I switched it back to view only because I didn't want anyone to just go and edit it. Plus, I think I just made a mistake because I didn't want to share the URL up here. Anyway, let me switch to the other screen sharing again.
In your defense, Mark, it was there last time too, so.
Okay. Good.
It's not like you just exposed something for the first time.
Not too much damage done. So now I'm just sharing the part that is actually editable. So this is better now.
Yeah, it's good for me. Thanks.
So I would like to suggest that we use vote number 11 as a marker for who is present in the meeting in the continuation.
Right. I just need to copy the text there. Just a second, Jakob. Like this. So this would be 11. And now we need to remove this. Sorry, I copied the wrong text. It's too bad. Let me just find the right one. Yeah, this one. This was the correct one.
No, I think what Jacob was saying is that it was to use vote 11 to vote yes if you're here.
We need a roster for voting purposes.
Roll call. Yeah.
So what do we write here? Vote to show that you're there?
Yes.
To demonstrate attendance? Demonstrate attendance.
And we actually don't need to vote anybody in when we do that. So anybody who is a member and votes yes to show their attendance will be eligible to vote in the meeting.
Okay, so we just need to wait for all the yeses to appear.
I'm here, but I didn't find the voting sheet yet. No.
It's at the top of the General Assembly document.
Okay.
Well, not the very top, but sort
I
of
think the meeting
page
also
2 or something.
we can also copy it into the chat, maybe.
Okay, I found it.
Yeah. I just copied it to the chat, so. Francesco, I think you still need to mark your yes here.
Where?
Here.
Yes, sorry. Yes.
Anyone who's here but hasn't marked the attendance yet? Let me see, we have 17 yes. So how many do we have in the meeting? We have
16.
16. That's strange.
So who?
Sorry, my bad. I think I've ticked late as yes by mistake. Sorry, I'll change that now.
This one needs to go. Now we're 16, so that's fine now.
I've changed it by mistake, so I'll just get it right. There we go. So this is.
We don't say no. We should actually say just.
Oh right, sorry. Okay.
So that it's not there. Now we're okay. Now we're 17 again.
Because there is a yes not associated to a name. You know, on line 35, there's a yes, but there is no name for it.
Actually, no, I removed that. It should be fine.
Let's see, who's...
Lais is still yes, right? And she's not here. Yeah.
I just
now we got it.
Yeah, no.
I deleted the lies.
Okay.
So now we have 16, and we are 16. So I think we are.
Yeah, and I've checked. All the names in the room are on this sheet now. It looks like.
Okay, perfect.
Well, most of them actually no. Hold on, I take that back. Matthias is not on this sheet, and he's in the room.
He is on the sheet.
He is on the sheet.
Yes.
Oh, I'm dyslexic. Hello. Hi. Great. Okay. Cool. Thank you. We're good. I'm shutting up now.
Okay, good. So we have done that one.
So are we ready to resume the meeting?
I guess so. Is
Yes.
there any formality that we have to fulfill, like, letting people know in advance? I think they had 2 weeks for this, so should be fine.
Actually, we don't need to let them know in advance. Anybody who was present at the meeting knows.
That's true, yes.
Yeah.
Valid.
Okay. So then I declared the annual meeting of the EuroPython Society reopened. And I welcome everybody who has shown up. We only have 3 items left to deal with in this meeting. And the items are the financial report of the board, the report of the auditor, and a discharge of responsibility for the outgoing board. So with that, I would like to launch into the EPS financial report. And is it Marc-André or Anders who's going to do the presentation?
I think Anders can talk and I can show it, so I'm just going to open it now.
So yes. So there are no really big surprises. We have grown a little bit in our operation. We had a turnover of about 663,000 euros last year. We make a profit of sort of stable at 168,000 euros. It was 161,000 euros in 2018. We're trying to give out grants to sort of from our profit. Our plan for both 2019 and this year was to give out 75,000, right?
Yes, that was the budget that we had.
That was the plan. We didn't give out that much. I think we ended up with about 50,000 last year and even less this year, but it's not over yet, so we'll see. So we have about 500,000 in the bank, which we sort of need to spend, or at least part of it. I mean, it's nice to have the 500,000 there because that means we can basically run a EuroPython conference without any income and still survive as a society. Just one of them, though. But
I think the point here is that we can fail on a conference without.
We can definitely fail on a conference, but I mean, we could essentially give one away for free. Not that we're going to do that, but
we could do that. Yes, I think this is a good buffer.
Yes.
If things like what happened this year, I mean, fortunately we did not have to pay a lot of money, but if something like this happens and we fail completely, then at least we have this buffer to survive. So I think that's good.
No, I think we want to keep the buffer at about this level because I mean,
one should remember the PyCon US in the big downturn of the economy, which was a really, really bad catastrophe, and it took the PSF quite a few years to recover from that one.
Yes.
So it's important to have buffers.
Yes. But at the same time, we don't want to sort of stockpile money. So I think we're at about a reasonable level now. I mean, prices will go up, so we will need to grow it a little bit to sort of keep up with the general increase of costs. But sort of to be able to give away one conference, that I think that's a nice level to keep us at.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think this is also, it recommends that the profit loss will be carried forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, yes, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to show? Income statement? And these are just the details. So
yeah. I mean, if it's probably best to ask if there is any questions, anyone want to know detail, and then we can show that.
Well, I'm actually interested in this income statement. I mean, just like the overall summary of it, because I mean, I'm new to this process. I want to get some semblance of an understanding of what's on this page or on this document. It's only 5 pages. So.
Yeah, so the financial report is you just get the overview of the income statement and the there are and the balance sheet. There are more detailed versions in the links in the General Assembly documents, but basically it lists sort of our turnover. That is sort of how much money passed through our hands, and we have our. Yeah, it just says. I mean, this really doesn't say anything. It splits that up between other costs and financial costs, and the financial cost is basically what we paid to keep our bank accounts and what we paid in sort of exchange fees and stuff like that, which is not much compared to. I mean, it's 148 euros, and compared to the 500,000 we've paid for the venue and the food and everything else. I think going forward, I think we want to split up the cost a little bit more so we can sort of show you what is in this statement. What is the cost for the conference versus what is the cost for sort of running the society? I mean, the society is sort of really cheap compared to the conference, but it would still be nice to split it out.
Yeah, I think what the most important figure that you see here is this figure here, the 499K. This is essentially, it's a little bit more than the cost of the conference because it also includes the society's operational costs.
Yes.
But since we don't have that much, we have, for example, the web server that we need to pay for. We have the accounting and so on.
Yeah.
But something around maybe 480,000. That would be the cost of the conference.
Yes.
Actually, I believe that you also have the grants included in that number.
Yes. That's
okay.
yes, in the operating expenses, that's true. They're in there as well.
It would be good to see that separately because I was looking at that initially and just thinking, gosh, for a year where we were online, we were more expensive than an in-person conference, but that's not an accurate assessment.
But this is for last year. So this is not the online year. This is the last year when we were in Basel.
Understood now.
Okay, so let's see what else we have.
But if you go to if you open the profit and loss sheet instead.
Yeah, let me do that. Profit and
because
loss.
there we can see the
it's all in Swedish, but you can imagine what it means. So
yeah.
Well, actually, the title of the accounts are in English.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Well, a few of them, mostly in English. Yes. So there you can see the.
There you go. Conference cost. This is what we wanted to see. This one.
Yes. So that's the venue and the catering. And then you have the. I don't really know what the difference in their bookkeeping of the sponsorship costs. I think they mean sponsorships costs and the paid scholarships. I think that is sort of depending a bit on what the grants were for. So in for instance, the financial aid grants would be on the paid scholarships, but sending sponsoring another conference would be the sponsorship cost. Though I'm not sure that is 100% true.
This here I wouldn't take too seriously because the numbers here, they don't come out to the actual numbers that we had in grants. So we had a lot more than this.
Yeah.
So I guess part of that is also included in the conference cost.
Yes, I would think so. Unless there are, that's
yes,
probably
they are. I've checked this, so
Yeah.
I know that they are.
Okay. Any other questions on this one? I think when we go to the, switch the accounting firm, we need to talk to the new accounting firm and let them know
Yes.
that we want to have a little bit more oversight in the summary sheet so that we can more easily see, what is a grant, how much did the conference cost, what are the society costs. These, I think, basically should be easy to see these on these sheets. So
yeah,
right
no,
now,
I want to go through it with the new people when we find them, and sort of we want to see what we want to see split up into the different parts.
Yeah. So the other report we have is the balance sheet. So
Yes.
This is just basically telling you what we currently have in the bank, for example.
Yeah. It's a little bit confusing because most of the sort of the bank accounts, except for these Swiss franc accounts, are in the sort of are in the currency of the account, and then there is the negative amounts on the country account that sort of make up the difference to turn the total sum into euros. It's a little bit confusing, but yeah, I've almost got my head around it.
You mean so the sum down here is actually in euros, and
that's in Europe? Yes, that's correct.
I adjusted it using these contra account booking. Yeah? That's a weird way to do it. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah. And the PayPal, for some reason, has its own country accounts. So yeah, that's why that's why there is 4 accounts that say PayPal instead of 2.
Oh, these, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But we don't have any kroners in PayPal anymore, so they should, all but one should go away.
But why would I see 1945 PayPal account SEK with that?
We still had it last year, but this year
right, I see.
Yeah, I got rid of it.
Right. So there's one thing that we are looking into, but we haven't really decided yet. You see this rather high amount here for the SEB bank account, the euro one. The issue that we have there is that the bank is actually charging us negative interest rate on this. So negative interest, yes. So essentially we are, instead of getting money for having money in the bank, what you normally would expect, they charge us extra every month because we have euros in that account.
Yes.
And we wanted to figure out whether we maybe we can put the money into either some other bank account that doesn't have this, or maybe we can get some do some kind of investment into some bond or something.
Can we open a euro bank account? I think maybe that's why.
I think all the banks in Europe are going to negative.
I'm actually
not in the long term.
I'm actually not sure whether that's still a problem at the moment, because I believe Sweden might have ended this whole negative interest rate this year. I think we should double check whether this is still a problem.
This is not because I think Sweden has a positive rate at the moment, or possibly 0. The problem is that the ECB rate is negative. And that's why they charge us.
It's worth mentioning that TransferWise, kind of funny that I've been using them for about a year now before I even joined this. TransferWise, in addition to being for transfer, is actually a really good borderless holding account. I mean, that may be a really good place to move things to, because you can hold it and move it between currencies, considerably less expensive than a lot of the banks. And so that may actually be a good place to park a lot of our funds. We can still treat it as a bank account. I believe you can actually get I think you can get a debit card for it in EU.
You can. We have one.
I have the US debit card, so, I think and so that may be actually worth, you know, moving.
No,
more
we
TransferWise.
we actually have a TransferWise card.
Okay, yeah, but
on that particular piece, I know that we are using TransferWise and it's working great for us. It's also, you know, it's a great thing to have for moving money around, even, you know, money in the like 10Ks of euros, but I wouldn't trust them with 300K.
No, and also it's more expensive to use them for transfers in the Eurozone.
Yeah, I think that like a regular bank makes more sense.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know if there is any requirement for the society to put the money like in a European bank or something like that.
Maybe we can get, maybe there's maybe in Sweden we can find a different bank that could you know, provide us with an account that doesn't have this negative interest rate.
I've looked around. I haven't found any that don't charge for the euro accounts.
I can help the board with some suggestions for where to put the money.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think in the long term that's going to be happening in Europe. Like all countries are moving to negative interest, so it's maybe a good idea to start thinking in a solution. So if Jacob have some ideas, maybe it's good to listen there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good problem to have. So
yeah,
not too concerned. So
yes, but I have some experiences in this field, but I don't think we should take time in the general annual meeting for it. Do we have any other questions about the financial report? If no, then we move on to the next item, which is the report from the auditor. And then I hope you have
Sorry to interrupt. Just to let you know that Chuk joined the meeting after we voted for the attendance question.
Yes, I think we don't want to spend more time on giving people voting rights unless there is some sort of controversy in which we can, in which case we can revise the voting rights.
So I suppose for you, the chair, it's just a matter of letting people know whether they can vote for the next one or not.
Yes. So if you have joined after the start of the meeting, then you can't vote as things are right now. Okay, so can we move to the auditor report?
Yes, let me just open it.
And I have been the auditor for the EuroPython Society for the last year. My first round at auditing resulted in this extension of the meeting because we found inaccuracies in the report. Right now, there is only one single inconsistency in the report, and that is the one with the Swiss franc account. I don't consider this to be such a big problem that we need to postpone the meeting again, but it's serious enough that it needs to be addressed for the next year's accounting. And this is a lot of text essentially saying that it is the responsibility of the board to provide the correct information, and my responsibility is to check things enough that I have a reasonable view of the finances and of the actions of the board. This is not perfect in any way. I haven't gone through everything in detail. I haven't checked every single of the thousands of payments that went to attend the conference, but I have been checking a few of them to see that they verify. And based on this, I recommend that the annual general meeting approves the income statement and balance sheet, dispose of the profit by keeping it in the balance sheet for next year, and grants the board members discharge from liability for the financial year. And I would also like to add that I think the board has done a very, very good job. I'm especially impressed by the board meetings and the way that things have been handled in the board meetings. There is a clear trace of all the decisions that have been made, which is very, very good. So do we have any questions or comments about the auditor's report?
I don't have a question, I have a comment. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to do all this work, because I know it's for me it's something that sounds really hard to do. So thank you for doing that for everyone.
It's been a bit of work, but I've been doing this for quite a lot of organizations and for many years. And the first thing you do check when you do something like this is, are the incoming balances and the outgoing balances correct? Do they correspond to what is actually in the accounts? And if they don't, then you've already detected that there is some problem. So that's how I found these problems that we had rather early, but now they are essentially fixed. Okay, any more comments? Then we can leave this item and move to the next one, which is the really important one for the outgoing board. And this is a vote on discharging the outgoing board for liability for the fiscal year of 2019. In a vote like this, the members of that board are required to abstain, and everybody else gets to vote yes, no, or abstain. Is there anybody who has a comment about this, or can we go to the vote? Then we will vote on the vote number 12 on discharging the outgoing board from liability. And I believe we have all 16 votes in, and I find that we have 12 yes votes and 4 abstains, so the motion carries.
I can confirm that.
And if the checkers can confirm that.
Sorry, Stefan, I think you're voting and you should abstain, right?
Nope.
Let me check.
Because members of the board should.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
sorry.
the votes are 11, 4 and 5 abstain.
I can verify that.
Okay, thank you very much. So then we have the next, so we have decided to discharge the outgoing board from liability. And then we have the final item of this meeting, which is closing of the official part of the meeting. And I would like to thank everybody for attending, and I'm wishing the new board the best of luck with the upcoming conferences.
Yeah.
So I'm closing the meeting now. And we have an open discussion. And I won't be part of this because I'm going off to dinner. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Jakob, for
Thank you, Jakob.
Thanks, everybody.
Also, thanks for doing the auditing, and thanks to the checkers and the secretary for helping us get through this. This was a bit unusual as a General Assembly meeting, but I think we managed to work around the issues that we found. I'm pretty sure that we're going to now seek a new accounting firm. And I also think that we can start fairly quickly because we already had the new board members in the last few meetings, so they are already aware of how things work. So we can switch over to the new board as soon as we have the minutes signed. So the new board is officially in when the minutes are signed.
So for the accountants, my boss is introducing me to our accountants. So if he get in touch, I can start contacting, link up the contacts.
All right, but this is for the, you're talking about the accountants for
Ireland,
right?
yeah.
So that's different, okay. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, yeah. I have one person that I'm going to talk to and see if she's willing to take us on. So.
Nice.
Regarding the signing, really quick, so because we have a board meeting tomorrow morning for me, is there any possibility that this can get chucked in my direction somewhere before, somewhere today or somewhere before that board meeting, so I can sign it? We can be able to move forward, because I know the primary thing according to the bylaws would be that the secretary and the checkers have to sign this thing. So.
Right. I would suggest to basically take this document as you see it here, create a PDF out of it. Well, of course, you have to go through it and make any additions that you find in here, that you may want to do, and then create the PDF and then send the PDF around to have everyone sign it. Of course, like you say, the most important ones are the checkers to sign. I'm not really sure whether the board members have to sign as well.
No, it's just the secretary and the checkers.
Okay.
Okay, so who does the secretary want to do? Or should I start the process on this, or should the secretary? That's
well, it's Ram that I think the secretary should do it, because he's sort of
come again. What should I do?
You should sort of be in charge of the process of going through the minutes with the checkers to make sure that they're correct, and then turn it into a PDF to send it around for signing.
Okay, sounds good. The checkers are Jason, right?
Yes, and Miguel.
Cool. So do you want to do a separate Zoom for that?
Why not?
Sure. Okay. So let's do it now.
Yeah, get it over with. And do you want to drop us a link on Telegram, or how do we do this?
I'll create a new meeting. I'll send the link here.
Well, can we create a breakout room? I don't know.
Maybe Mark and Rick can make a breakout room for them.
Actually, can assign automatically, assign manually.
I think you want to assign
manually.
Manually, yes.
Manually.
I've never done this, so let me just try this. Create one breakout room. Okay, I created it, and now how do I get people in?
Just
select,
right? Yeah.
And then you
How
want
to select it manually.
in there. You want
Jason, Miguel, Ram.
I don't see. Ah, there he is. Miguel and Ram. Open all rooms. Okay, is it open now?
Are they going in?
Yes, they are.
This is how it looks, by the way. So this is interesting. So you can see that they're in and green, and so they have joined. That's nice. And I think we can then maybe discuss a bit if there is interest in having a bit of a discussion. So I just wanted to mention that we are currently looking at the conference next year and and what to do in 2022 and also 2023. The current we are currently at a point where we want to decide whether we do online next year or whether we do hybrid next year. And the way things currently pan out is that we will most likely run online again next year, because the situation is not getting any better here in Europe, and it's in fact it's getting worse, and especially in Ireland, where they are very much, very sensitive to these things and closing down things a lot very early on. Chances are very high that we wouldn't be able to run the conference, even as a hybrid conference, in July next year with enough people to make the investment that we've done, because we already have a contract with them, to make that worthwhile. So we have talked to them, and they have agreed to. They're very flexible, so that's nice, and they have agreed to also postpone the event to 2022, so postpone again. The only issue that we might run into is that the catering cost might go up a bit, so we will have to address that in some way, maybe cut down on the food options that we have, maybe just do a sandwich lunch. We have to see. So we don't want to make it overly expensive for the attendees. And there's something else that we have to consider, which is that people may, even in 2022, may not be open to actually traveling abroad or coming to Ireland, or there may even still be restrictions left which hinder them to come. So this is something that we have to take into account. So we are trying to negotiate with them to not have the catering account, the catering number at 800 as we have it in the current contract, but to lower that to 600, so that we get a bit more buffer to not have to pay too much and to use the funds that we have already invested. We already paid a couple of tranches of the contract, and so we want to use that money, of course, as efficiently as possible. So that's where we currently are. I just want to let you know so that you know what to expect for next year. And then we hope to have the in-person event for 2022. We are trying to do this in a hybrid way. We want to make it possible, because we've learned that for the online conference, it actually has a couple of very nice effects, which is that lots of people can join who would not be able to travel. Even without COVID, they would not be able to travel. And so we want to make it possible for people to join online, even when we do the in-person event. And we're currently trying to figure out some ways of how to approach this. Also for next year's conference, the online conference, we want to make some more experiments. We've already done a couple of experiments this year because we essentially never ran the conference online before. For next year, we want to put some more emphasis on getting some sort of feeling for an in-person event to the people without them actually traveling anywhere. So what we want to try is some kind of a distributed kind of setup where we have, for example, companies arrange a room where people can then join together and then watch the streams together, or maybe have user groups do the same. Maybe also help them with, let's say a user group, help them with some funding, some grants to make this possible, so that it will be possible for smaller groups of people, let's say 10 people or so, to get together in a room, or maybe in a few rooms, and then participate in the conference that way. So you get a bit of this kind of in-person event feeling without actually coming to the event. So that's something that we want to try. We still have to discuss how exactly to set this up, so it's not clear yet, but that's a general idea that we want to do. Another thing that we want to put in place is, and we're currently discussing ways of doing this, is we want to make it possible for people from lower income countries, like for example India, to attend the online event at the pricing level that we have, and the pricing level that we chose this year, for example, was it was focusing on what you would normally pay in Europe, and of course, in India or other places around the world where the income level is not that high, these prices are actually not like what you have in Europe, where the prices that we had for the online event were actually comparable to the early bird prices that we normally have for the in-person event. For them, it's still a lot of money. So we want to make it possible for them to attend the conference online without having to pay that much. And we're trying to figure out how to exactly put that in place. So that's something else that we're looking into. Right. But I've been talking a lot. Discussion is not just one person talking, right? So I leave the stage to someone else now.
Question, I suppose. The thing is, I know you're still trying to figure out when you are. I know the board's trying to figure out what to do with the, try for next year. But do you have kind of an idea when, I can, like for me, I can go and talk to, startup hubs and all that. Besides companies. So like I have links to some co-sharing startup hubs, and they can also pass on the word to other hubs around Ireland. So when do you think, because for them, they're anxious in doing events as well, those kind of places, especially all around Ireland. So if we can give them kind of heads up on prepping, I know there's like, probably, there's like a limit on so many people gathering in a group right now, and it changes a lot. But I'm wondering, when we can start putting out feelers on who's interested to do this next year.
So I think we need a bit more time to discuss and, flesh out this whole idea, how to run it, how to manage it. Because there are some things that we still have to settle on. For example, we have to figure out how to do the ticketing for the event, and when like a local user group, for example, does it. Especially because your local user groups will often not have the legal entities to actually do ticketing and do the taxes properly and so on. So. There are still some things to figure out, but what I would suggest is that if you already have people who would be interested in running this, maybe we can set up a meeting with them to get some input from them on how they could actually run this, and then we can take that into consideration as well. Because we don't, like with the online event this year, we don't have much experience in doing this sort of thing, so this is going to be new for us as well. And we have to see what's possible and what's not possible. So that would be nice. And once we have that kind of feedback and we have fleshed out things, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be before the end of the year that we have a concept for doing this. The decision whether to do hybrid or online next year, I think we're going to have very soon, because we want to let people know very soon. And also, I think there isn't really a whole lot that we can. We don't have that many options anyway. So.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah. Out of interest, Naomi, do you know whether PyCon US is going to do online next year as well?
I don't think I could speak officially. But my sense is that it will probably be online. So that's kind of a tentative, still kind of confidential response. But yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
I personally, I can't imagine how it would work out in the States right now for us to have a conference. And I know that they've been addressing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to, overall, we have to be a lot more careful with these kinds of decisions. So, I mean, based on what we found this year, this year, for example, in February, we were still thinking, okay, it's February, it's going to be over by July, right?
It was.
and of course, we were completely wrong about that, and we realized in March when things kind of, accelerated a lot that we were very wrong, and we made that decision. So now, given that we have a lot more months between now and July, I think it's prudent to, have that kind of decision very early.
Also, I think the concern is that even it's kind of like, okay, now you can travel, but I think it's just that people would be more conscious about like traveling. They would be like, if it's not necessary, like absolute necessary, they may not want to travel, even though the government say, oh, it's safe now. But yeah, I think it's like people would always be safe than sorry. Same for us as well. We don't want to have a case in our conference, and then we'll be like, oh my God, we have to take responsibility for that.
I think the other thing that is coming up that we haven't seen yet is that with the damage to the airline industry in terms of layoffs and shutdowns, as they come back, they're going to have to dramatically increase rates. Right now, they're really cheap because they want to con people into traveling who don't want to. But as soon as that starts to change, I think travel, even within Europe, which has been really cheap the past few years, certainly air travel will become much, much more expensive.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Overall, I think we will see that in the next coming years, travel will be a lot less. Also, like you say, the airline industry is going to, take a big hit because, for example, business travel was basically the most important, sales driver for them, and that's cut down a lot. Also, people have realized now that doing a Zoom meeting is, maybe just as effective as actually traveling for a few hundred kilometers to some place and meet people in person. So I think, yeah, we are going to see a lot of changes that it's not going to come back 100% to where we were before. So things are going to be different for a couple of years.
That's for sure. Also, when we were discussing about next year, we were thinking on, okay, let's say we have a vaccine on time and we can be really optimistic on that. Then you have to consider the time that will take. And I saw an article on the BBC. I think it's kind of a leak for the government, so it's not 100% official, but they are saying that they have some plans to start using a vaccine by the end of the year. But then that part is probably the part that is, I don't know if it's a leak, it's true or not, but the part that I think is really relevant for us, they are saying it will take 10 months to go over the population of the country. And that's only for UK, right? So
with the vaccine to get it, to most of the people at least, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, but then you also have the other problem that there are quite a few people who don't want to take this vaccine, right?
Oh yeah.
I know in Germany there's a huge movement of people who basically reject, vaccination completely, not just COVID-19, but in general. And what do you do about those stuff, folks? I mean,
we just had, I just saw in the news that on Saturday, our main shopping street in Dublin, there was a lot of people anti-mask people sitting down and saying that COVID is kind of false news and all that kind of stuff. So it's everywhere, even in a small little island of Ireland. We have a chunk of people who have been demonstrating every week. I think every weekend now that I see in the news, not even every week or every second week or so. I didn't even know about this until, it hit the news. So it doesn't seem like there's even a few hundred would cause so much damage, because we're such a small city and stuff. But yeah, it's a problem, even though all of us would take vaccines, there's going to be a whole chunk that won't, and endangering everyone else. But yeah, let's just have to see.
Yeah, but I think in either case, it's quite, I think the world will probably change regardless. And as Naomi said, it could have a pretty big impact on the airline industry. So it is probably a future-proof thing for us to think about hybrid, regardless of whether we can in the future do in person 100% or not, includes more people. And also, you know, it is future-proof in case people are afraid of traveling, etc. So, and I think I feel quite happy to hear after discussing this with the CCD, the Dublin venue, they're also thinking this way. They're quite flexible, and they're also thinking of in the future, probably a lot more people would want to do hybrid. So they are also thinking ahead and very collaborative. So I think overall it's quite positive.
It's also a chance for people to try, as I say, trying to get that in-person feel virtually. So there's going to be a lot of experimental things out there. So it'll be interesting between now and then what we could find along the way, because, you know, before COVID, before the lockdown, a lot of these like Zoom and everything, they were okay, like, but now suddenly there's like apps for everything and everything, you know, there's technology, you know, I've never seen so many apps come online, you know, for everyone to use to improve, you know, just virtual meetings, never mind. Now we have virtual conferences. Now we want to make them more feel like they're, you know, that we're interacting and engaging a bit more, because you, as you said before, you don't want to just watch videos and just turn off and look at other things, you know, not being half interested in the talks, or, you know, not really talking in breakout rooms or whatnot. So it'd be interesting between now and then and seeing what people have been trying and doing, and maybe hopefully by that stage there'll be something kick-ass and fun and we can actually use, you know, for EuroPython and other stuff, other events that we run as well.
Yeah, there is a lot to learn and improve. And my feeling now is that it's going to be a lot harder to organize or to decide what to do for 2022. That's next year, because next year for me sounds quite like, okay, there is no many options. But then 2022 is probably, if finger crossed, we are going to be like in a better situation, and then the decision will be harder because we are going to be again in a completely new situation. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. So good for us to keep improving the online and start thinking on the hybrid and all those things, because I think there's a lot of a space to work there.
You know, who knows? Maybe we'll have in 2022. Maybe we'll have, you know, some kind of, you know, these robot things that, you know, drive around the venue and then show some you know, image with the Zoom meeting running or so. Yeah, who knows?
This year brought us jetpacks finally, so I mean, I'm not going to rule it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Minutes have been signed and sent to board at EuroPython.eu. So hopefully that'll be there. If it isn't, poke me, and I will find another way to get it to y'all.
Okay, perfect. So everything is signed. So I guess now the new board is officially in place, right? Yes. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you very much to the outgoing board.
Especially Stefan, thank you so much for everything you did. It's, you know,
yeah,
things happen the way they happen, but you are.
I'm not saying goodbye, by the way, so I'm expecting to see Stefan around.
No, I
day, so.
I will continue to contribute.
The work groups, and there'll be a big family.
Yes, I would be there in the work groups. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Thank you, Stefan.
No one will lose you.
Okay. See you next
I
time.
still have a lot to learn from you, so stay close.
Yeah.
We're just babies taking baby steps. We don't know what we're doing yet. Stefan, help us.
Okay, so I have to do something else, so I'm going to leave. Thank you, everyone.
See ya. Bye-bye. I'll probably head off as well. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for all this. Bye.
Bye for me.
Bye.
Now I can't find the leave meeting button anymore.
You can never leave, Mark.
You're
You're here forever.
Find it. But I'm going as well. I have PyCon India, so bye.
See you, Chick.
All right. Yeah. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I need to cancel the meeting. Okay.